Today is World Mental Health Day, and this evening we turn the spotlight on schizophrenia, a condition oftentimes misunderstood and stigmatized. Here's Sandy Williams with part one of a Primetime News special report, A Critical State of Mind.
How are you feeling today? Now, you think you're so clever, don't you? Yeah.
This is a glimpse of what it's like in the mind of a paranoid schizophrenic. It's a serious mental health condition characterized by delusions and auditory hallucinations. The condition often leads individuals to believe that others are plotting against them or that they are in imminent danger. Sean Harris is a recovering paranoid schizophrenic. He was diagnosed with the condition in 1997 at the age of 19.
I was neglecting my meals. I was going home late at night. The job itself was very, taxing. I ended up trashing the apartment. So I was handcuffed and my feet were bound with a rope, 7 men. And I was rushed off to the Ward 21 of the University Hospital of the West Indies.
Despite his diagnosis, he was released from the facility. Mr. Harris, however, was referred to the psychiatric clinic at the Princess Margaret Hospital in St. Thomas. After starting treatment, Mr. Harris was leading a normal life. However, that was short-lived. In 2013, he stopped taking his medication, and subsequently things began to spiral out of control.
I would have ended up walking the streets, oftentimes naked, walking from the Morant Bay area to Kingston and back on 2 occasions, and maybe walking to Kingston without coming back on maybe 4 or so other occasions. I would have become very verbally aggressive. I was totally disoriented.
This comes as no surprise, as psychiatrist Sonia Winter explains.
Once you've been diagnosed with a condition which is titled a disorder, you need the help of a professional to help you restore normalcy to your life. Sometimes what is required is medication to help you. Other times it's psychotherapy that can help. Sometimes it's both.
And there are also other options to explore.
Support groups as well that can help you to cope, that can come up with coping mechanisms that can help you, and then also talk therapy, helping you to understand what is happening to you and help giving you other coping mechanisms that can help you to, sort of resume a meaningful life.
Mr. Harris has been admitted here at the Bellevue Hospital in Kingston on 6 separate occasions. However, it was his experience during his last admission that encouraged him to stick to his treatment regime.
It had impacted me so deeply, how I was treated, how the other patients were treated, that when I left the Bellevue Hospital for the last time, I decided, no, I'm not going back down this road.
And so Mr. Harris re-entered the psychiatric clinic. He now uses the literary arts to shed light on the condition and says it's a rough road to walk alone. Mr. Harris is encouraging others struggling with mental illness to stick to their treatment regime.
When I educated myself about the illness, that was when I realized that I needed to comply with my treatment regimen. The medications that I took made a big difference.
In part 2, concerns about a lack of support for people who suffer from mental illnesses. Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
On the heels of World Mental Health Day, concerns about a lack of support for people who suffer from mental illnesses. Here's Sandy Williams with part 2 of a Primetime News special report, A Critical State of Mind.
Now, you think you're so clever.
A 2022 report from the World Health Organization, WHO, states that schizophrenia affects approximately 24 million people, or 1 in 300 people worldwide. Locally, less than 4% of the population suffers from the condition. Dr. Kevin Goldburn is Director of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services in the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
The current prevalence of schizophrenia within the last couple of years is at 2 to 3% of the population. And that compares with depression, which is at about 14%. There's no real general differentiation from the studies, but it tends to start from within late adolescent into early adulthood.
Despite its rare occurrence, psychologist Dr. Patrice Charles King says the mental disorder should be taken seriously.
If you don't understand and they're walking on the street or they've left their home and you think that they're trying to pick a fight with you, or they put themselves in harm's way by being very aggressive and someone else is defending themselves, or they do harm to someone. We just saw that recently. It is definitely cause for concern, on both sides. Individuals are probably suffering from it and they don't know that they're suffering from it.
It's why the WHO has established the Comprehensive Mental Health Action Plan 2013-2030. It focuses on 4 areas, including responsive social care services for mental health. This is evident in Jamaica as the government has set up drop-in centers across the country.
That is something great. If you have paranoid schizophrenia and you have no home and no shelter, and the government is providing food and shelter for you, as minimum as it may seem to someone that has it, it's a good thing for them.
For Sean Harrison, who is recovering from schizophrenia, it's a step in the right direction, but it's just not enough. He recommends the establishment of assisted living to better help people struggling with the condition.
I'm not talking about, just a normal board or wooden house, good shelter that the person can have, a living arrangement monitored by government employed, social workers and persons who monitor his or her, movements.
Sandy Williams, TVJ News.